first encounter with order and life would be with the Catholic Church, and I was being groomed as a mass boy. So in Burma camp where I grew up, I followed Father Kumesi, Lieutenant Colonel Kumesi then he was, as one of his favorite mass boys. And the key expressions of the Catholic Church is with the communion service. And in the communion service, you will identify the equality of men, the way in which the Catholic Church perceives it. The Father discharges the communion to all men in the same manner. And so equality of men and that kind of socialism sort of influenced me at the beginning. Of course, born in the mid-70s to a young army officer, I was around about 5 to 6 years old when the 31st December coup occurred. And in those days, I lived in Burma camp, a place called St. Anthony Lane. And it was very close to the command headquarters and very close to the house of the brigade commander then. His name was Colonel Abana. And so the leaders of the coups struck excitement in a lot of the army officers, the younger army officers, the lieutenants and the captains at that time. I was later to learn that that excitement that the coup struck in the army officers was because a lot of them were concerned about the attitude of Mr. Riley Poku, who was the Minister of Defense at the time, and it was thought that he did not treat the army officers well. So later on I understood it. But by this time my father was a captain, and so the names of Aloga Akatapori, Zarayebo, Yen Yen, were names that I heard regularly. I associated with them even though I didn't know them, and it struck a certain positive impact of something that I didn't quite understand. Later on though, I was to find out that these heroes of the revolution became renegades of the PNDC, as it was told that the PNDC did a U-turn in its own political philosophy sometime around 1983. Then, as an undergraduate, I was part of those who chanted the slogans of Che Guevara, of Chris Hani. We sang Inkonto Wesizwe. We used to sing Cho Cholozo as if that will bring Mandela out of prison, but it didn't. We were also buoyed by the maltreatment that the United States meted out, especially to Fidel Castro and Cuba. We were also buoyed in this position when we read about the civil rights movement, about Martin Luther King, about the blessed Elijah Muhammad, who actually begat Malcolm X, and who then recruited Cassius Clay to become a key part of the whole civil rights movement. Cassius, of course, became Ali and ended up as one of the celebrated sportsmen of all time. So being socialist was great. It was the in thing to be. It was fighting university authorities and singing the slogans. That was what it was at the time. But then, as I proceeded along, I read about freedoms and the inalienable rights of men, that these were guaranteed by God. I noticed that our first Republican Constitution did not have a clear human rights guaranteed charter. I read some of the cases in law school and I realized that arguments had been made in Ghana in the courts that were successfully made against what I thought was the inalienable rights of men. Then I became born again, so I sort of read also the Bible, and I began to accept that the central theme of man is God. I subscribe to the tenets of the God of Abraham, who revealed himself as Elohim in Christ. And it seemed to me that center-right political philosophy to discharge the obligations that God had placed upon man in the Garden of Eden became a spontaneous order. I understood capitalism to mean individual initiative to be developed under freedom and the right for individuals to reap their labor, and that the consumer is the most important person in the whole equation. So I also read in those days the epistles of Dr. J.B. Dankwa. I was influenced by Margaret Thatcher and the kinds of things she did. I noticed that when England changed to Tony Blair, he pursued almost the same center-rightist policies of Margaret Thatcher, and he described it as New Labour. It occurred to me then that perhaps being center-right maybe is the way to go. And then I became quite disappointed with what happened in Angola, because the battle between the MPLA and UNITA was one of the central themes of conversation, and it was one of the central themes that divided the center-right people and the center-left people. Eventually, the MPLA won the war, but the post-war Angola was more capitalist than anyone could think. In fact, today, Angola and Luanda is the most expensive country to live in. Eduardo dos Santos' daughter is the richest African woman. And so these things sort of strengthened my resolve that perhaps this whole left-wing thing that we had done through the university and the Che Guevara and all of that, just perhaps required a bit more research for us to draw a conclusion. You look at the situation in South Africa today, the people whose slogans we used to chant, Cyril Ramaphosa, Tokyo Sexuale, Jacob Zuma, look at the way in which they conduct affairs. It's very, very far from the letter of socialism. And these matters sort of strengthen the resolve that perhaps we have to have another look at this philosophy that we are acquainted with. Not that Cyril is doing anything wrong, but in terms of the letter of socialism that was preached widely in those days, and if you look at what has happening now, it may well be that they had also changed the philosophy, as indeed did the PNDC in 1983, which set out also as a socialist group. Then I looked at President Kufuor when he took office in 2001, and since the time of Kwame Nkrumah, the record will indicate that no other president has achieved such important social interventions as President Kufuor, who should normally be a center-right person, did. And sort of all of that influenced me. So I'm just saying this at the outset so that the distinguished audience will know where I have come from and where I have struggled towards, so that that will definitely influence the kinds of things I said. And I had said that I read the Epistles of Danquah and I read it thoroughly. And I have also read Dr. Nkrumah, who's very distinguished, but perhaps that informs the kinds of things that I'll be saying.
Now I come to this case that I have to talk about. The gods of Nana Akufo-Addo, thank you. Nana, continue to enjoy your retirement in peace. The God and the gods of Cecilia Dapaah, God bless you. Continue to enjoy your peace. Continue to enjoy your retirement. Vindication is really in the womb of time. And there's a popular Ghanaian saying right now, give time some time. We have given time some time. We are still giving time some time. And we are beginning to see that the corruption house built of lies is collapsing. That the corruption house built with salt is dissolving. And we are beginning to see how vicious, wicked people were when they were attacking these people. Under the NPP regime, two things came to stand to, let's say, stand for corruption. Two main things. These were, one, the National Cathedral, and two, Cecilia Dapaah. So corruption had a geographical location. Let me say a whole National Cathedral. Corruption has a face and a name. That is Cecilia Dapaah. I'll start with the National Cathedral.
No, we'll get there. But I'm dealing with this.
I want to follow. It's a flow. Just give me a minute, please. I'll get it. I beg you.
Right.
We were told that corruption had happened under the National Cathedral. If you believe the narrative, especially leading up to election, if you believe the official narrative, you would think that by now people would have been in jail. But we saw the audit report. And that audit report, I believe the audit said that no criminal offense was committed. That every single money used in the National Cathedral was used for the purposes. You can question whether it was a priority, and that is excellent. You can question whether we should have been doing it. That's also excellent. But the audit report, the comprehensive audit report, and the decision said that no crime was committed and has been committed so far. That is why so far there's absolutely nobody standing trial for the National Cathedral. We said that crime has, of course, yes. So that is one thing. So on the National Cathedral, vindication has come in a time of wound. So Cecilia Dapaah, this woman was hounded. This woman was harassed. This woman was insulted. She did a very noble thing. She resigned her position so that the government doesn't become a punching bag. She left. His Excellency the President Akufo-Addo wrote a letter in accepting it. A little part of that letter says that I believe that you will be vindicated if you can. The president was roasted for that. People called him names. People said they already acquitted him. So I acquitted her. So far, Cecilia Dapaah was investigated by the OSP during the Akufo-Addo regime. And he said he found nothing wrong. The woman had committed no crime. 2, Cecilia Dapaah has now been investigated during the John Dramani Mahama regime. And again, the OSP said, I want to read something, point 2.26 of the OSP report. It said, after nearly 7 months of extensive investigations by the office and a parallel inquiry by the Federal Bureau of Investigations of the United States, no direct and immediate evidence of corruption was found in respect of seized funds and frozen bank account linked to Ms. Dapaah and her associates. 1, she's been investigated by 2 different regimes. So if you believe that Akufo-Addo was covering up for her, then you also have to believe that President Mahama is covering up for her. 2, if you believe that Akufo-Addo was not covering up for her, then you have to believe that President Mahama is not covering up for her. Either way, you come to the same conclusions. Both regimes have found nothing wrong with her. That's 1. 2, Cecilia Dapaah has also been investigated by 2 different countries and two different nationalities. By the Office of the Special Prosecutor of Ghana, and also by the Federal Bureau of Investigations. The FBI is par excellence. There is no other investigation organizations in the world that even comes close to the expertise, the experience, and competence of the FBI. I don't know how. Look, in these 8 months of the government, 2, 3, or 4 Ghanaians have been repatriated to the United States to serve prison terms because of crimes they have committed. This same FBI has said that we have looked at everything you've thrown at us. We've looked at everything that has been thrown at this woman for about 2 years now. We've looked at every single allegation that you've asked us, and we found nothing. She's clean as a whistle. And so far, the OSP is telling us, after all that we have done, we have zero, we have nothing. They've come out empty-handed in this Cecilia Dapaah case. If this report had come out when Akufo-Addo was in power, it would have burned down this village. This town would have been burned down. If this report had come out when the NPP was in power, if NPP had won the election and this report came out, there would have been fires on the streets of Accra. Because nobody will believe it. The report has come out now, and that is it. This case, in this particular case, you see, I'm beginning to sense a certain concept of a personalized. There's something personal about it. It's like, listen, we must punish Cecilia Dapaah. We must convict her. If not, all the noise, the cacophony of voices and noise about corruption would have been for nothing. It's like we must make sure that this woman goes to jail, or we take her man. If not, we cannot justify the noise we made about her. That is vindictive. That is wicked.
Introducing Betway's Bet Influencer, a groundbreaking feature where you can make money by just sharing codes.
He just needs to share his codes and make money. The more his codes are used,
The more money he makes.
oh yes. So, what are you waiting for?
Anyone can be a bet influencer. Share your codes and make money.
Bet Influencer, another world first from Betway.
This advert has been approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Betway, get way more.
iPhone papa ye wo homa
So open iPhones accessories papa dia menhwe baby a
me mo akwaba ba EBA phones and accessories Sebani EBA, yet on iPhones any home accessories. iPhone 50 XL cost 16 Pro Max. Accessories ye wa charger, AirPods, any iPhone home akadia nyina. Nianuma ye ni sikapudu e de beto iPhone. Say ya nkrankre, boja, and na say abanye juma your phone nyina. For 40% beji iPhone biya ope. Na ni aka no, wo de bosome miensa. Etua ne nkakra. E kwan ya obefa so de achi enyi. Dial *713*5571#. Oba, sheno so say wo de wo Ghana card. Eni nia ye kire say wo ye adwuma. Hwehwe ye kire kwan e wo Circle Mall. Eni tiptoe lane ye ni modern photos enchen ho a. Afei so, say wo ba American Mall, ye ni odo rice eni edi nhwani. Kuma senso ye wo Edum Central Prisons roundabout Ejekum Abunsan ni. Freyen, our numbers na ebu screen is no. EBA phones, no hassle cra.
Are you a headmaster, headmistress, parent, teacher, or an educator looking for high-quality textbooks for preschool, primary, and junior high school students? Look no further than Advocate Publishing Company. Advocate Publishing Company is a leading publisher of educational materials in Ghana that publishes very engaging, interactive, and comprehensive textbooks that meet the needs of students, teachers, and parents. Our textbooks are thoroughly published to make learning fun and easy. They are also designed to stimulate critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity in students. Make Advocate Publishing your preferred choice for all your educational needs. Explore our range of textbooks and educational resources. Visit us at the old GNTC yard near Kingsway, Accra. You can contact us on 0503 786 776 or 02408 06354, also 0531 600360, and connect with us on Instagram, X, and Facebook at Advo Publishing. Don't settle for less. Choose the best. Advocate Publishing Company, empowering young minds one textbook at a time. Thinking publishing, think Advocate Publishing.
Hello, my friends. My name is Calkit Toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger, chicky whiter, chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Calkits, happy smile.
Welcome to Rehoboth Palm Ayumensa Gated Community. Nestled between the vibrant city of Accra and the breathtaking Ebri Mountains lies a serene gated community. Here, you'll find litigation-free, fully serviced demarcated plots to build your dream house in a gated community surrounded by lush greenery and the calming beauty of nature. Perfect canvas for your dream home you want to build. With well-tarred roads, a reliable drainage system, electricity and water, fully serviced plots are ready for your vision. Enjoy exclusive amenities like a swimming pool, tennis and basketball courts, all within the comfort of your community. Start your mornings with peaceful walks or energizing jogs under the shade of palm trees and stunning views of the Peduase Ebri Mountains and city skyline. Starting from 450,000 Ghana cedis and a flexible payment plan, visit www.rehobothpropertiesgh.com to make inquiries. Call or WhatsApp us on 020-682-3524, 055-375-1933, or 024-476-4499. Rehoboth Properties, quality housing for all.
I'm here at Mycom JA Limited to show you the Promethean Active Panel, the ultimate tool for corporate institutions, hospitals, schools, and your home. With its crystal clear 4K display and an unbreakable screen with an ultra responsive touch technology. This isn't just a screen, it's a game changer. For corporate institutions and in schools, this active panel can be used for Zoom meetings and PowerPoint presentation. And oh, your homes are not left behind. You can use it to watch all your favorite programs by just connecting to a Fire Stick, and you can get access to channels like Netflix and Amazon, and voila, you are in there. At Mycom JA Limited, we provide you with the best quality products from the United States of America with 1-year warranty. You can get an active panel at a discounted price of 18,000 Ghana Cedi only, and it comes with a Fire Stick, a webcam, and a micro system. You can locate us at Chado Container behind the Trade Fair. Visit Mycom JA Limited today and elevate your tech.
Yes, next. Hey, Nadia Benson, Asamo.
Me didn't tum. Mr. Femi Kalika, just call me cockroach. Now, Mr. Femi once now.
Hey, that's you. Improve car. Yeah. Captain Mosquito, double the action.
Sasso spray, Mr. Femi Sasso quell. Yeah, go to my Sasa
Sasso, come and tum preko.
In life, choice is good, but choice plus safety is way better. Your safety and comfort is paramount. Under the cylinder recirculation model, you can buy LPG in a safe environment. All cylinders are inspected and maintained to the best safety standards, so your safety is assured. Just take your empty cylinder to the nearest exchange point and swap it for a filled cylinder. Different cylinder sizes will be available to meet your pocket size. Imagine cooking in a smoke-free environment. This will improve the health and well-being of you and your family. Choose LPG in a safer model of distribution. Cylinder recirculation model. Securing your safety. Creating more jobs. A message from the National Petroleum Authority under the patronage of the Ministry of Energy.
When Kwesi Pratt called me, inviting me to this forum, I didn't know that the gathering will be so august, almost intimidating. Alhaji Hudu Yaya, Sylvanus Tamaklo, Leo Kran, people who have been members of parliament, who have sung the slogans, and people who we read about in school. But I'll do my best to discharge the duty according to the research that is available to me, which I'll share with all of you. At the outset, though, I have to set out political philosophy. And Comrade Chicho Poku, when he was calling both of us comrades, looked at me with a smile, wondering whether I am a comrade. I don't know whether I'm qualified to do that, but I set out as a socialist, as I believed in the beginning as an undergraduate student. My first encounter with order and life would be with the Catholic Church, and I was being groomed as a mass boy. So in Burma camp where I grew up, I followed Father Kumesi, Lieutenant Colonel Kumesi then he was, as one of his favorite mass boys. And the key expressions of the Catholic Church is with the communion service. And in the communion service, you will identify the equality of men, the way in which the Catholic Church perceives it. The Father discharges the communion to all men in the same manner. And so equality of men and that kind of socialism sort of influenced me at the beginning. of course, born in the mid-70s to a young army officer. I was around about 5 to 6 years old when the 31st December coup occurred. And in those days, I lived in Burma Camp, a place called St. Anthony Lane. And it was very close to the command headquarters and very close to the house of the brigade commander then. His name was Colonel Abana. And so the leaders of the coups struck excitement in a lot of the army officers, the younger army officers, the lieutenants and the captains at that time. I was later to learn that that excitement that the coup struck in the army officers was because a lot of them were concerned about the attitude of Mr. Riley Poku, who was the Minister of Defense at the time, and it was thought that he did not treat the army officers well. So later on I understood it. But by this time my father was a captain, and so the names of Aloga Akatapori, Zarayebo, Yen were names that I heard regularly. I associated with them even though I didn't know them, and it struck a certain positive impact of something that I didn't quite understand. Later on though, I was to find out that these heroes of the revolution became renegades of the PNDC, as it was told that the PNDC did a U-turn in its own political philosophy sometime around 1983. Then, as an undergraduate, I was part of those who chanted the slogans of Che Guevara, of Chris Hani. We sang Inkonto Wesizwe. We used to sing Cho Cholozo as if that will bring Mandela out of prison, but it didn't. We were also buoyed by the maltreatment that the United States meted out, especially to Fidel Castro and Cuba. We were also buoyed in this position when we read about the civil rights movement, about Martin Luther King, about the blessed Elijah Muhammad, who actually begat Malcolm X, and who then recruited Cassius Clay to become a key part of the whole civil rights movement. Cassius, of course, became Ali and ended up as one of the celebrated sportsmen of all time. So being socialist was great. It was the in thing to be. It was fighting university authorities and singing the slogans. That was what it was at the time. But then, as I proceeded along, I read about freedoms and the inalienable rights of men, that these were guaranteed by God. I noticed that our first Republican Constitution did not have a clear human rights guaranteed charter. I read some of the cases in law school and I realized that arguments had been made in Ghana in the courts that were successfully made against what I thought was the inalienable rights of men. Then I became born again, so I sort of read also the Bible, and I began to accept that the central theme of man is God. I subscribe to the tenets of the God of Abraham, who revealed himself as Elohim in Christ. And it seemed to me that center-right political philosophy to discharge the obligations that God had placed upon man in the Garden of Eden became a spontaneous order. I understood capitalism to mean individual initiative to be developed under freedom and the right for individuals to reap their labor, and that the consumer is the most important person in the whole equation. So I also read in those days the epistles of Dr. J.B. Dankwa. I was influenced by Margaret Thatcher and the kinds of things she did. I noticed that when England changed to Tony Blair, he pursued almost the same center-rightist policies of Margaret Thatcher, and he described it as New Labour. It occurred to me then that perhaps being center-right maybe is the way to go. And then I became quite disappointed with what happened in Angola, because the battle between the MPLA and UNITA was one of the central themes of conversation, and it was one of the central themes that divided the center-right people and the center-left people. Eventually the MPLA won the war, but the post-war Angola was more capitalist than anyone could think. In fact, today Angola and Luanda is the most expensive country to live in. Eduardo dos Santos' daughter is the richest African woman. And so these things sort of strengthened my resolve that perhaps this whole left-wing thing that we had done through the university and the Che Guevara and all of that, just perhaps we required a bit more research for us to draw a conclusion. You look at the situation in South Africa today, the people whose slogans we used to chant, Cyril Ramaphosa, Tokyo Sexuale, Jacob Zuma, look at the way in which they conduct affairs. It's very, very far from the letter of socialism. And these matters sort of strengthen the resolve that perhaps we have to have another look at this philosophy that we are acquainted with. Not that Cyril is doing anything wrong, but in terms of the letter of socialism that was preached widely in those days, and if you look at what has happening now, it may well be that they had also changed the philosophy, as indeed did the PNDC in 1983, which set out also as a socialist group. Then I looked at President Kufuor when he took office in 2001, and since the time of Kwame Nkrumah, the record will indicate that no other president has achieved such important social interventions as President Kufuor, who should normally be a center-right person, did. And sort of all of that influenced me. So I'm just saying this at the outset so that the distinguished audience will know where I have come from and where I have struggled towards, so that that will definitely influence the kinds of things I said. And I had said that I read the Epistles of Dankwa and I read it thoroughly. And I have also read Dr. Nkrumah, who's very distinguished, but perhaps that informs the kinds of things that I'll be saying.
Good evening. Welcome to this edition of the show. Thank you very much for your time. And well, I'm sorry, people are texting me and saying that your videos are too long, but some people are asking me to send them that last video. It's an old video. It's a 2019 recording, and I'm waiting for another invitation from Ambassador Kwesi Pratt, whom I'm going to talk about right now in the introduction of my show. So I've been looking at many things on social media, as I always do, and tonight we have important things to discuss. I have a story about Ghana and our youth and how we should use more thinkers than talkers. I have that stories coming up. I'm bringing up tonight Abena Osei-Asare, the Honorable Member of Parliament for Etiwa, for praise for the very distinguished job that she's doing at the Public Accounts Committee. It would appear to me, and I hope I'm right, that she's the first woman to chair the Public Accounts Committee. The Public Accounts Committee is one of two committees in Parliament that is often chaired by the minority group, and so Abena Osei-Asare is a member of the minority and is chairing the committee. I think that she's doing a sterling job, and I'm going to bring her up for praise. We understand, and credits to the police and the judicial system, that the people who attacked Hawa Kumsin at the Ablekuma North have been pronounced guilty. We also have another story that shows Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo, former chairman of the NDC, and it's a senior political advisor to the vice president, appeared to be congratulating Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia on something on digitalization. We'll be talking about that, and then we have some politics to do. This week, the New Patriotic Party is bringing its people to pick up forms. Earlier today, Kwabena Ejapon was the first to pick up his form, and he's ready now for the contest on January 31. Tomorrow, there'll be large crowds at the NPP headquarters here in Accra in Asylum Down, because early in the afternoon, Kennedy Ohene Akompreko Ejapon will be returning his forms, not picking the forms, sorry, will be returning his forms to Justin Kodua and Nana Boakye and the presidential contest committee chaired by Kwame Adokufo. They will be receiving the forms of Kennedy Akompreko. You can imagine the buzz that is going to hit the NPP headquarters tomorrow. After that, Brian Achampong would also be presenting his forms, and you can imagine also that there will be major buzz as far as that is concerned as well. On Thursday, it's going to get even more interesting. Osei Oduchum will be presenting his forms as midday, and then after that, former Vice President Alhaji Mahamudu Bawumia will be presenting his forms to complete the charge, and the MPP will now be ready for vetting The vetting should be quite simple because all of these candidates have been vetted before the previous year and have passed. Is there a new entrant in there? No. Kwabena Japan is old. Akompreko is old. Osaya Oduchum is the new entrant in there, but here is a man who had been minister, distinguishing himself as Minister for Education and a Member of Parliament. To all intents and purposes, he's going to scale the vetting. And of course, Muhammadu Bawumia, former Vice President, is also going to scale the vetting. So the vetting is not going to be controversial. And then the campaign will truly start, and they will be at each other until January 31. We have a lot to say about that. People have been urging me to talk about what Brian Achampong said, what Akompreko said. We'll get there. Now, in that political conversation, we are also going to strike a balance, you know. We're going to strike a balance and find out if A were to win in the NPP and B were to win in the NDC, what is likely to happen, all things being equal, in 2028? We know that all things may not be equal, so we're going to also juxtapose the event. If the economy is this, the economy is that, his marketing is this, if President Mahama does this and does that, how is it going to work? So we're going to say, for instance, that Julius Debra versus Kennedy Japan. How is it going to look like? Julius Debra versus Muhammadu Bawumia. How is it going to look like? Johnson Asiedu Nketia versus Muhammadu Bawumia. How is it going to look like? Johnson Asiedu Nketia versus Kennedy Japan. Johnson Asiedu Nketia versus Brian Achampong. How is it going to look like? What about Keselato Forsen? What's going to happen? So we have that political hypothesis for you later tonight. Also, we get into the law classroom. The last week, or was it more than a week ago, the UK Chamber of Law, some organization like that, wrote a very strongly worded letter to the government of Ghana, insisting that the government should, as a matter of urgency, reinstate Gertrude Tokonu as the Lord Chief Justice. We'll look at that. The Attorney General of the Republic quickly responded to the letter. We're going to look at those two. And then we will now descend into the Article 146 Committee, where we are hearing all kinds of rumors that it looks like the committee is about to end its story. They're about to end their story, and Justice Tokonu has managed to present major heavyweights to aid her case before the Justice Poaman Committee. What's going to happen? We're going to look at the persons who appeared before the committee. Potentially, what did they say? Because we don't know what they said. The Article 146 process is held in camera, and therefore we don't know what they said. But we have some snippets of ideas based on what news has reported. Many news portals have reported the appearance of these heavyweights: Justice Enini Eboa, Justice Sophia Kufu, who is still a member of the Council of State, Justice Jones Doche, and also Nana Dr. SKB Asante, all of them appearing before the committee to speak for Justice Tokonu's innocence on these matters. We're going to have a look at that and see what kind of media news we should be expecting. The Rich Hospital nurse has taken out a writ of defamation against the proverbial Ralph. What kind of evidence must she submit to the court to convince the court that she was actually attacked, assaulted physically by Ralph and his gang at the Rich Hospital last week? There's videos that shows that there may have not been a physical contact, but information we are hearing from Rich Hospital is that the videos that we have is from the outpatients department, and that the physical contact may have taken place in the trauma department, where as a result of what happens there, trauma, they do not put CCTV cameras there. But there were witnesses who can attest to it. That's what we're hearing. We're going to evaluate all of these as we look at the writ that has been filed by the nurse to an Accra High Court, asking for damages in defamation against the proverbial Ralph. So Lawyer Apreko will join me on the touch screen when we look at the Chief Justice's situation, the Rich Hospital nurse. What evidence must she provide before the court to convince the court that in fact she has been assaulted? And also, does the UK Chamber have any justification to rise to the government of Ghana and insist that the government of Ghana must reinstate Chief Justice Tokonu? Now, someone told me that they have a right to do so, and many people have been conversing with said they don't have the right to do so. Now, the one who said they have the right to do so had an interesting argument. He said that we in Ghana, by our historical governance systems, did not have a role of a Chief Justice. We have borrowed the role of a Chief Justice from the colonial engagements that we have had with the United Kingdom and the Western world. Therefore, the Western world can tell us how Chief Justices should work. That's an interesting analysis, isn't it? That's an interesting proposition. We'll be looking at that in some detail. So we have a full plate for you tonight. Let's begin with the Kwesi Pratt story, and that's quite a sad story for me. I was watching a video today of Shatta Wale. You can show some of it without the sound. Shatta Wale, one of my favorite musicians of all time. He had been entangled with this stolen car, Lamborghini, and all of that. Yeah, that's Shatta on your screen, really angry and complaining about something. Shatta Wale has been complaining that he's been unfairly treated in this whole Lamborghini issue, okay? Now, there are two Lamborghinis we are dealing with now. There's a yellow Lamborghini and there's a purple Lamborghini. The yellow Lamborghini continues to be within the hold of the Economic and Organized Crimes EOCO office. The purple Lamborghini, Shatta Wale cleared it on video from the Tema port, and he now has it. Now, the allegation is that the yellow Lamborghini is a stolen car that Shatta Wale was using, and so it has been collected by EOCO for further investigations. In this video that you are watching, Shatta Wale is pointing to a portal where you can tell whether a car is being stolen or not. He's referencing his lawyer friends in America who have done some work on this portal. And I have the portal on my phone. It's been sent to me as well because I called these people and said, where is this coming from? How can I also see it? And you can go through it and you will see how to find a car, stolen car, whatever. And he's convinced, together with his lawyers, that this car is not stolen. He's convinced, therefore, that all of this is a trump-up charge against him. And what hurts, if you're looking at this in Ghana, is that it's very complicated, you know. Every society that has developed with its best brains. You know, these things are very sensitive to say because when you talk like that, it sounds like some people are more important than some people, but that's not the point. No one is more important than the others. If those of you who are Christians, you read the Bible, you remember the story of Gideon when he was going to battle and God said he should separate his soldiers this way and that way. It didn't mean that some soldiers were more important than some, but there are some whose role may be critical to national development at the start. There are others whose role will come next. So for instance, comedians are very, very important to social hegemony. But you need to have an auditorium where the comedians will talk and where the comedians will perform and express themselves. Musicians are important, but you need to have microphone. It's the engineer who makes the microphone. So to set out a music industry, you have to start with the engineer. The engineer is the one who sets out the music industry. You have to start with some people. And that is why in the 1980s, the government of Ghana decided that science education was very important and that they were going to focus on it because Ghana believed that Japan had focused on science education and was doing better. Our critical thinkers, electrical engineers, civil engineers, medics, biochemists, chemistry, physics, mathematics, those people can set out the society. And then when the society is set up with infrastructure, the rest can come. It hurts when it looks like a society is not putting its best foot forward. There are too many pretenders these days. People who pretend that I am this, I have background in that, I am that, and they are all pretenders. You can talk about the GTech issue of picking people who say they have PhD when they don't. All of that is very, very worrying. And we need to set out something in this country and push forward our thinkers. Because the thinkers, the original, real, great, talented thinkers who have studied are always going to be those who are going to push the information for us. It's very, very important. You know, I believe there's a statue of Cicero or Socrates or one of those thinkers. It is important that we have thinkers in this society. And there's a story I'm going to share with you that has a Kwesi Pratt's name in it. This story is very disturbing because you see, there are thinkers, and we have seen this. This happened on Metro TV, you know. We have seen how thinkers should lead our society. All of these people pretending is very dangerous. And people who are pretending that they know this, they know that, they know this, they know that, and they only occupy political positions. Johnson Asiedu Katia recently spoke and said that in Ghana, there's too much of whom you know in the way in which people get a job to do. That the real crux of the matter is people who can do it. You know, Arthur Kennedy was talking recently, I'll show you that later on. He was talking recently about how people leave school, follow a politician, and then they have built a house and houses and etc., etc. They don't do any work, they don't have any experience, just finish school and cheer a politician. He becomes MP or he becomes minister, and you are his man, and you can benefit from the largesse of the state. That's very, very disturbing. It's extremely disturbing. In this video that I'm going to show you, and I'm pushing this agenda because we need to put our thinkers forward, whether it's NDC or MPP. Let's be sure that the guy occupying the position has the wherewithal to do it. That's what Asiedu Ketia is complaining about, and I completely agree with him. Let's have people who can deliver it, who have the track record, the wherewithal to show that he can be IGP, the wherewithal to show that he can be National Security Coordinator, the wherewithal to show that he can be this and he can be that. It's very, very important. Not people who are talking about themselves. If you can deliver the job, you don't need to say anything about yourself. It will be obvious that you can deliver the job. I mean, look at this Shatawale thing. A car has been seized. It says it's stolen. And apparently, there's a simple application that anyone can go to find whether this car is stolen or not. It's very simple. Kwesi Pratt was on Good Morning Ghana, and he was very offended by something he felt delivered very, very poor thinking in our society. Very, very poor thinking. 3 weeks after Kwesi Pratt had this banter with this establishment, the whole thing comes round. And Elvis Efrie Ankra now tells us that it's okay. The office is not working. Let's look at Kwesi Pratt on Good Morning Ghana. Have a look at this video.
Elvis should show us how he's going to review prophecy. What method is he going to use to review prophecy? How does Elvis believe that God will give somebody a prophecy about somebody and God will refuse to show the person how to get in touch with that person?
Okay. So
let him tell us.
Can I respond?
Let him tell us. And Elvis should understand that whatever job he's doing, he's not doing it on his own. He's doing it on behalf of all of us.
Just a second.
No. Elvis is doing it on behalf of all the people of Ghana. This is still about those who believe in God and those who do not believe in God. Are they not citizens of this country?
Please, this is not fair to me. You've had the whole morning, you've said your own. I respect your views.
Yes.
First of all, you don't believe in God. You don't. You've said it always. And I respect you. You are somebody I've worked with from CJ. I respect you. Your contribution to this country is without doubt. But the point is that you don't believe in God. So if you don't believe in God, when we are talking about
why is that important?
Entitled to your views. Now let me answer your
question. Why is that important? Is this not a secular state?
Answer your question.
Is this not a secular state?
Can I answer your question? Give me the opportunity to speak. Okay. I am quoting scripture, and for those who believe in scripture, it says that do not despise prophecies, but test it all. 1 John 4 also talks about test the spirits. So for those who believe in the scripture, the Bible, and the word of God, there is a method to deal with it. That's number one. Number two, we are trying to curb a situation where people are speaking about all these things left, right, and center without any let or hindrance. That's what we are trying to do. Number three, there are competent, able people who will support us. And I can tell you that many people support this view. Even the Christian Council, who issued a statement saying that they needed clarity and clarification, they added that indeed they support every move by government to curb a situation where people say things out of fear and panic. Is it a statement of the Christian Council? So, we agree on many things, we can disagree. It is not, the world will not come to an end. On this matter, I disagree with you.
And just show us how you are going to review prophecy. How are you going to review prophecy?
And I've told you,
what method are you going to use to review prophecy?
The Bible says you are dwelling on the
word. So show us how prophecies will be reviewed.
And I'm telling you, it's on the scripture. So when the scripture, because you don't believe in it, you don't understand it. When the scripture says
show us how prophecies will be.
You saw that. Here was Ambassador Kwesi Pratt, and I call him Ambassador. Last time we spoke, I spoke to him about a week ago. He called me up. We're talking about something, and he said, why do you keep referring to me as ambassador on your show? And I said, but you're an ambassador of the Cuban Revolution. And then he laughed and said, you are full of mischief. But that's okay. But Kwesi Pratt was exhibiting, as a country, what thinking do you go through to say you have economical something to review prophecies? That's the point Kwesi Pratt was making. And Elvis Ankra challenged him. Do you have another video? Is that another video? Let me understand it. Is that another video? Elvis Ankra challenged him, and you saw the challenge. Okay, so leave it there. Now, Elvis Ankra proceeded with his work. Few days later, he came up with this, put the poster up, let's read it. What does it say? It says, over 200 prophecies submitted since national directive. Presidential envoy reveals. Elvis Ankra says that he received over 200 prophecies since the prophecy, since he received it. Then the next one that came was, enough of your death prophecy. No, there was one that he said over 200. Some of them are not good. 80% are not good. Do you have that one? Yes. It says, government receives over 200 prophecies. This is Elvis Ankrao. 80% of no use. Kwesi Pratt was making the argument with him. Where is our thinking? What is the meaning of this? Now the Elvis Ankrao, the economical boss, argues with Kwesi Pratt. That we have to do it. You don't believe in God. Okay. He comes and says, I've received 200 prophecies, suggesting that the office is working. Then he comes and says, the 200 prophecies that he has received, over 80 of them are of no use. That's Elvis Ankrao. Okay, we are listening. Go to the next one. Elvis Ankrao then comes just recently and says, what did he say? He says, enough of your death prophecies. My office isn't receiving prophecies. Now, he's not receiving the prophecies anymore. I think he said something about, there's another one, send me prophecies of development, something like that. Where is that one? Do you have that one? Okay, if they have it. He said, oh no, not that one. Said prophecies of development, if you have that one. Okay, so he says that over 200 prophecies that were received are of no use. And then now he says that 80% of the prophecies don't work. And then now he says, I'm not receiving the prophecies anymore. Did you get a Franklin Cudjoe? Did you get a Franklin Cudjoe? Yes, put a Franklin Cudjoe up. In between, Franklin Cudjoe comes up and says that, oh, President Mahama doesn't know anything about it. Do you have it? I want viewers to see. Oh, you don't have it? Okay. In between, Franklin Cudjoe comes up and says, President Mahama is not part of this bring prophecies to the economical office. The economical office is set up, yes, but President Mahama didn't say they should bring the prophecies there. I agree. I can believe Franklin Cudjoe. In between also, Kwesi Pratt said that it is ridiculous that a pastor, Reverend Fire Oja or something, I don't know whether you guys got it, Fire Oja Fire or Fire Oja, said that he needs transport and a car and something to transport himself to the place and bring the prophecies. Next thing we saw, Ojaba. Next thing we saw, Ojaba and Elvis Ankrao have taken a photograph in a place that looks like the president's home. Ojaba and the president have also taken a photograph. All of these things is what Kwesi Pratt was saying. Where is our thinking? Why don't we put our thinkers forward? We are a developing country. We need thinkers. We need political parties, but we need thinkers. So why are we doing that? It's very, very key. And I began from the Shatawale story because as a nation, we can't say that our state institutions don't know that there's an app. There's technology these days. Don't know that there's an app that you can easily verify whether a car is stolen in America or it's not stolen. Is it somebody who wants to occupy an office and pump up ego? What is the point? What are we doing? What's the point? We have a country to govern. All young people. I'm old, but there are people who are 40 and below. And we have a country to govern. We have to fix it. And to fix it, we have to have people who are thinking to lead. Everyone is important. But people are important at different times. We need first the builder. If you are building a house, you start from the foundation. You don't start from the roof. So the person who will do the roof must wait for the foundation to be constructed. The person who will do the windows must wait for the foundation to be constructed, the roof to be constructed. All of it comes together to form a house. All of it comes together to form a developed nation. So you go to America, you have rapper P. Diddy. He's there. He's making an impact in America. You have Jay-Z. He's there. He's making an impact in America. You have which basketball player do you know? Anyone you can mention. He's there. He's making an impact. But there are also the engineers who build the road from New York to New Jersey, who build the road from New Jersey to Texas. They are the astronauts who do what they are doing. We have the telecom people who deploy the satellite so that you can watch Jay-Z on your phone. All of that comes together. In every aspect, let's develop and push forward our thinkers. Everybody is important. And that's why I support Kwesi Pratt's agenda this evening. I watched that program. I'm a Christian. I believe in God. I believe in prophecies. But how does a government set up an office to be receiving prophecies? What is the meaning of that? Set up a whole office to receive prophecy. Receive prophecy for what? The president can identify his own prophets. The president can identify prophets and we need not know them. Because spiritual consultation is very important. Kwesi Pratt may depart from me on that, but that's okay. Spiritual consultation is important. But why must we set up an office and say people should bring prophecies? How do we know who is a pastor? There's no way to legislate a pastor. Pastors are not legislated in October where lawyers are called to the bar. Pastors are not legislated. What month did they used to do it for the doctors? I think February. In February, where people go and take the Hippocratic oath. Pastors are not legislated at the KNUST graduation where they are churning out electrical engineers. Pastors are not legislated at the Legon congregation where they are churning out sociology, anthropology, archaeology, and political science graduates. Pastors are called of God. They are spirit people. So there's no legislation. So I can say I'm a pastor today. Every doctor can be a pastor, an engineer can be a pastor, anybody can be a pastor. And we set up a government office to say that we want to review prophecies. Thinking, what is happening? What is happening? And then we say that we have an institution in Ghana that can seize stolen cars. When the stolen car can be identified on the phone, when it was sent to me, I was surprised. I said, is that simple? Yeah, is that simple? Is that simple? Play Shatawale's video, let's see. Play Shatawale's video. Play it.
I have lawyers in America that I was trying to verify, my lawyer friends. They showed me Carfax. I didn't know. I have all those things, a Carfax. I get them here, I said to my lawyer, Carfax, bro, that be this be Carfax. Check them. Carfax, if you put your VIN number for there, where this like your VIN number, if you put for there way, the car be stolen car. You see where this green sign is? You go right and go see red stolen. If you put your chassis number for Carfax, where they check if car be stolen or not stolen. Anybody where you forget this app. Boys where you use car or even they bring car come to you, take this one check. I go show you the last time where they ship the car come Ghana. They say the last time when they ship the car come Ghana, they say it be 12/19/2022 from 12/19/2022 from Savannah, GA and imported to Ghana. From Savannah, GA and imported to Ghana. Carfax. That's where my lawyer friends from America send me. They say, no, the car don't get problem for America. So why they come take him? I say, hey. And I send this to my godfather Tago. I tell him, say, Godfather, I beg, tell Remo, say, make he just give me the car, you know, be stolen car. So let me just give you guys a clue. So because Raymond Archer saw that, he couldn't tie me with the Dubois case. Now he's trying to find a problem for me that I know Kwabena. I don't know anybody. I don't know any Kwabena anybody. I be third party to the car. The guy said, they know they Ghana way in car. They say the information they get say in car can catch Ghana. That guy then they say they arrest him long time. The car is third party. They say they sell for somebody way. The person say no, like we sell for somebody. That person say they get some issue of your house, so he want the money, so maybe they sell for.
I don't know whether you have the Elvis Ankara, the last one ready. Let's put it up. I want viewers to see it. This one. It says, if you have any prophecy about Ghana becoming like Malaysia, Singapore, or South Korea, then come see me. So what is happening? What is happening? What is going on? Viewers, please add your voice to it. Let's put our thinkers forward at this time of our development. It is very, very, very important. every Ghanaian is important. We need every Ghanaian to develop. Those at home, those abroad, those in the city, those in the suburban areas, those in the villages. Every Ghanaian is important. Let's identify what we do first, and then let's put those people forward. Let's put our engineers forward. Let's put our engineers in our security institutions. Let's put our engineers in our investigative institutions. Let's deploy our electrical engineers. Let's deploy our civil engineers. Let's deploy those young men who have demonstrated talent in the polytechnics. Let's deploy them. Let's deploy them. And stop this joking, this egotistic joking. We have an egotistic joke that is going on. I mean, look how Kwesi Pratt was upset in the studio. Did I say more? Okay, no. Now, let's go to the touch screen and let me talk about... Okay, before then, I'll go to the touch screen, but there's a video I'd like to show you. I'm talking about one of those people that I can say tonight that has demonstrated that she is a bright spot in the future of politics in Ghana. When I put up the flyer, I was reading the messages and somebody said that, oh, go with you. Today you are praising Alan Kyerematen people. I was wondering what he's talking about. So I showed it to one of my people. What's he talking about? I said, oh, Abena Osasare was supporting Alan Kyerematen. I said, oh my goodness. People are very interesting and people have a lot of information. Abena Osasare, the Member of Parliament for Etiwa, former Deputy Minister of Finance, has truly distinguished herself as the first female chairman of the Public Accounts Committee. The Public Accounts Committee is one of the most important anti-corruption corruption watch committees of Parliament. And as a reason of its being a corruption watch committee of Parliament, it is usually chaired by the minority, because I think the constitutional framers did not believe that the majority who have the president will check their own corruption. So since time immemorial, I remember the chairmanship of Albert Kandapa did an excellent job. One of the days, I can never forget Kandapa chairing the Public Accounts Committee, because we had gone to interview him here on Good Evening Ghana. We had gone to Parliament to interview him about this work on Public Accounts Committee. The same night that the interview was broadcast, he was robbed and a lot of his documents were stolen. And everyone believed that it's as a result of the disclosures he made on the interview. Since then, Public Accounts Committee chairman have not been granting interviews about the work they are doing. We're really sorry about that. But that's why I cannot forget Albert Kandapa as a Public Accounts Committee chairman. However, Abena Osasare is doing a sterling job. Just look at this small clip. And this is a canker that exists in our society. You work for government. You're a young person. You're 27 years old. You become a teacher. You become a doctor. You become a staff of the Ghana Post. You become anything. And then you start working and they have to change something. Maybe you get transferred or something like that and you get taken off the payroll. Bringing you back on the payroll is a nightmare. Sometimes 2 years. You have not received salary and you have to go back to work. Abena Osasare was questioning this phenomenon among many other things that she has done. You remember her conversation with Malik Basentale. And it's the first time I've seen Malik Basentale humbled and listening, and I'm happy that he did. But look at Abena Osasare and see how she's doing her work.
Is it that when sometimes mistakenly somebody's name is taken off the payroll, it takes forever. Controller, it takes forever for the person to be put back on it. Sometimes it's a genuine mistake from the validators. And sometimes too, it is a way of some of the heads showing teachers where the power lies. Exactly. And it's very, very painful. Since since Friday, we've had a lot of these reports. It's very painful that genuinely, your name is taken off the payroll. For one reason or the other, you have to go to controller, sometimes 8 good months, and you still haven't been reinstated. Meanwhile, you are there working, and for one reason or the other, you are being validated. How do we cure this?
Thank you, Madam Chair. If you have to do with the validators, of course, they validate. They are in the district, they are in their offices, and they will determine that this number of people deserve to be paid. So if for one reason or the other, they don't validate you, then it's the same process. It's the same validators and institutions that have to go through the process to validate you for us to pay you. We cannot, as controller, pay you if the validators haven't validated you. So these are some of the challenges that
when they bring proof to you that it was wrongly done, and so you have to reinstate the person. That's what I'm talking about. There are some people who vacate posts and they deserve to be taken off. But those who, for one reason or the other, are genuinely taken off, the validators will tell you they have done the right thing. They have sent the documentation and everything to controller. Sometimes they even show you evidence that this is what they have done. And the beneficiaries come all the way from the various places to come and sit in controller and see who do I know to help me do this, help me do that. So let's not just explain it away. There are genuine reasons and genuine concerns. I think maybe you should have a desk dedicated specifically for these things, because sometimes when you hear their stories, controller, it's not too good.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have a desk, we have a client service who deals with the payroll issues. And I think I remember I mentioned this somewhere that they come direct to the client service, and then their issues are resolved. Those kind of issues. The issue is that some of the issues could have even been resolved at the district level, but we don't understand why people still want to see somebody to resolve their issues for them. We think they are genuine concerns. You've gone through the process, and they will be resolved. We'll see to that.
I think we all have to be proud of Abena Osai-Asare in the work that she's doing. But this controller thing, I hope that it doesn't. Sometimes it happens and it doesn't change, and you find out that they're still doing the same thing. Young Ghanaians are suffering. Young Ghanaians are really suffering from this controller problem. I mean, time and time again, I've been with people who are complaining about it a lot. Now, let me go onto the touch screen for the rest of the presentation. I was feeling lazy to stand up. Today, I've been very busy, so. But let me just get onto the touch screen now. And hey, how is he doing? Is he in Ghana or is he in America? Where is he? Okay. So, controller, we expect that. Everything will be fine. This I should adjust my tie. What's happening? Okay. Is it better? Okay. Yeah, this is fine. Sorry, viewers. So, controller, we expect that the conversation at the Public Accounts Committee will not be a 9-day one. That we'll see young people who have switched, or by reason of something, they can get their salary very quickly. This thing goes on. I mean, it's not nice. We're in a modern world. We're a digitalized society. What is happening? We can do mobile money interoperability, and this we cannot do. Congratulations, the Honorable Abena Osai-Asare. We are behind you, and all the young women in Ghana are very, very proud of you. What secondary school did she go to? So we can get I don't know the secondary school she went to. We can get anyone who knows, please send it to me. Abena Osai-Asare. Was she in, let me look at her and guess. Hey, I don't want to get into trouble. I won't guess. If you know the secondary school she went to, I'll play the anthem for her. I think that she's doing an excellent job. Very, very, very good job over there. Mrs. Abena Osai-Asare. Okay, all right. I'm not surprised. They said she went to Wesley Girls High School. Yeah, same name. Okay, all right. Okay, please, let's go on. Congratulations, Honorable Abena Osai-Asare. Let's move on. Ata Kennedy said something that is, as Kojo Sheldon will say, it bust my mind. Ata Kennedy says, some young people have never worked in their lives. They follow some big men after school, get a big position, and after 2 years, they build mansions. Yet nobody asks how. Dr. Ata Kennedy, founding member of NPP, opponent of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Principal opponent of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Does this make anyone feel bad? Does this make us feel that we should think? Ata Kennedy, principal opponent of Nana Akufo-Addo, says some young people have never worked in their lives. They follow some big men after school. And get a big position. And after 2 years, they build mansions. Yet, nobody asks how. Do you have somebody in mind? Or you can say, don't worry, just send a text to us. Hey, the person he's talking about is Paul Adumochi. He finished school, he went to follow Akufo-Addo there. After 2 years, he built house. Or the person he's talking about is Kofi Blonya. He followed Kwame Addo and went to build a house. Or the person he's talking about is it's 11 minutes past 10 o'clock in the night. This is Good Evening Ghana, and it's still live. Ata Kennedy is provoking us to think. But as we do on Good Evening Ghana, let's look at the flip side of the conversation. Really, What is wrong with that? I'm just playing the devil's advocate. I don't have any side. You tell me what it is. What is wrong with that? If I'm in level 300 and I follow Dr. Charles Reku Brobe, because I like him, Reku Brobe, I like him. Very intelligent man. And I go to Lifeline, where he used to come at a Kwafo Hall in Legon. And I'm talking to him all the time, and he says, what is your name? I say, my name is Paul Adumochi. What are you studying? I'm studying political science and classics. Okay, do you like it? I like it. Yeah. Where do you come from? I come from Kwamo, near Ejusu, the Ashanti region. You can be MP. Or say, you can remove him because you are a young man and you are very sharp. So I follow Reku Brobe, kitty. Then Reku Brobe's party wins the election when I'm doing national service after level 400. Then Reku Brobe becomes the Minister for Energy. Then he calls me, Paul, I'm going for vetting. Come and help me prepare. Then I go to Reku Brobe's house and I help him prepare. Then we go for the vetting. Then he finishes. He says, Paul, can you be my PA? Have you finished your national service? Oh, I haven't finished. Why are you doing your national service? Joy FM. Stop the Joy FM. Tell national service to transfer you to Ministry of Energy. I said, oh, Doc, unless you do that. Okay, so he calls National Service Secretariat. Nana Boache is there. He's also an MPP. He knows Nana Boache. Nana Boache, can you transfer Paul Adumochi from Joy FM to Ministry of Energy? He said, oh, Doc, that's simple. Okay, Nana Boache goes to the office, call the secretary, says, look, come. This is the number for a candidate. He's called Paul Adumochi. Transfer him from Joy FM to Ministry of Energy and then organize a letter for him. So Nana Boache calls Reku and says, tell Paul to come for the letter. I go for letter. They transfer it to Ministry of Energy. Okay. So I go to Ministry of Energy. I'm Reku Bobe's PA. Very effective, very sharp. I'm working for him. 2 years' time, I have a mansion at Pokwase, or I have a mansion at Doyumu, or I have a mansion at Hacho Ekomog, or Pram, or I don't have a mansion in Accra, but I've built one at Pankrono, Abrepo Junction, and things like that, you know. Is it wrong? Is it right? Is it good? Is it bad? 4 years later, we go for an election. Reku Brobe's party wins. And the president is going to his final term. Reku Brobe calls me now. I have a ministry car. I'm a special assistant to the Minister of Energy. I'm on Joy FM. I'm talking. I'm on City. I'm talking. I'm on Metro TV. I'm coming on Good Morning Ghana. I'm defending the position of the ministry, blah, blah, blah. Everybody says, Charlie, this guy is very clever. Reku Brobe calls me and says, Charlie, it's time for you to go to Parliament. Oh, this was AJ guy. We'll remove him. Ediomi, we'll remove him. You have to go. So I go and tell my house people that, Charlie, my boss says Parliament, and then he organizes plenty money for me. I go to the contest. I pay every delegate. How much do they pay? 800 or something. I've forgotten. They pay some money. You pay. You pay. Then the delegates vote for me. I become member of Parliament. I'm 30 years old. Beautiful. I'm not even married. I'm 30 years old. I'm a member of Parliament. Reku Brobe is a senior member of the government. Now the president is leaving, so Reku Brobe is running for the presidency. I'm his main guy. And I'm pushing the agenda, and I'm receiving money from all kinds of businessmen for Charlie Brops. He was my friend, my godfather, as they call it in politics, godfather. Is it wrong? I leave you to respond on the social media. Let me read it again the last time before I move on. Some young men have never worked in their lives. They follow some big men after school, get a big position, and after 2 years, they build mansions. Yet, nobody asks how. True or false? 15 minutes past the top of the hour at 10 o'clock. Okay, let me go and congratulate now the Ghana Police Service and the judicial system. Everyone is satisfied. The IGP really did promise that before the Akwetia election, there will be action on the Hawa Kumsin situation. My dear darling sister Hawa Kumsin, everyone knows how much I love Hawa Kumsin. And I was so devastated when I saw a whole grown, big, huge man fly, you know, like Diego Maradona. And no, did I say like Arnold Schwarzenegger? Really, it looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger. The guy threw himself like Arnold Schwarzenegger, punched her, put her down, beat her up. And people were clapping. She deserves it. Is she not the one who pulled the gun in Kaswa? Is she not that stupid minister? Is she not this? Is she not that? Look at the video. Look at the video. Look at the video. Producer, thank you very much for this video. Look at this video. See the way the video is working. Now look at what's happening. The guy is there. He's being held. That's the guy in the white. Look at him. He's going. He's going. Oh, He is going and he has a target. He has a focus. He knows what he's going to do. He is going and then he crosses the police. Oh, there you go. Look at that. In the full glare of the police and everyone. And he does and conducts this very dastardly act over a woman in 2025. And people felt that it was okay. Thank you to civil society as well. And thank you also even to the NDC voices, members of the NDC who added their voice to this, that this is unbecoming. We cannot continue to run our society like that. This was one of the most violent scenes that we saw. We had also seen Sam George being slapped in 2019 in the Ayawaso was Wagon, which brought about a committee, the Emil Short Committee. You know, it is bad then and it was bad now. It is worse now because it is a woman. And that has to be said. A woman beaten in public is worse than a man being beaten in public. A man being beaten in public is bad for a democratic society. But a woman being beaten in public is barbaric. And thank you to the voices within the NDC who felt that, no, this is wrong. This shouldn't be. And I hope that Hawa Kumsin and her cohorts will feel the justice of the system. Congratulations and big salute to IGP Yohonu, who insisted that this problem will be solved before the Akwatia by-election. We saw some data today that said that Ghana is going down in the peace coefficient, if you like. And I'm guessing that this is a big part of it. Very, very violent. This is a report. It says that Ghana drops out of top 5 peaceful countries in Africa, and we now rank 61st globally. I'm guessing that this very dastardly event in Ablekuma North must have been part of it. I think that we have now banished that to history. And let me get the court reports back. And today, we are hearing that the court, 8 convicted for assaulting Hawa Kumsin and 2 others. And they pleaded guilty as well. I mean, I don't know who their lawyer was, but perhaps the lawyer wanted to make it very quick because there's video evidence. You're not going to take us through a trial process. They pleaded guilty. They've been granted bail. Sentencing will be given, I think, sometime soon. And we hope that it will be okay. This is where it's important that Ghana, in our sentencing regime, custodial sentence must sometimes give way to community service. The people are sorry. They've said they are sorry. I'm sure they will say sorry to Hawa Kumsin. They've pleaded guilty. Community service will suffice so that we can all move on. This is the full report. The Ghana News Agency reports that 8 persons who were assaulted, Mavis Hawa Kumsin, the ex-minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture, and 2 others during the Ablekuma North rerun elections have been convicted by an Accra High Court. This was after they had pleaded guilty to charges of conspiracy to commit crime, to wit, assault, and 3 counts of assault. The 8 persons include Mohammed Abubakar, a private security, Jijani Mahmoud, a driver, Prince Jakwasu, a businessman, Anas Mohammed, an estate developer. The rest are Mohammed Hamda, a mechanic, Daku Otibu Samuel, a businessman, Musa Muntari, a station manager, and Ali Said, a businessman. The court presided over by Mr. Isaac Addo convicted them on their pleas but deferred the sentence to Friday, August 29, 2025. It, however, granted the accused persons who are on police inquiry bail, court bail in the sum of 80,000 with 1 surety each. Wow. Okay, that's a good story, and we hope that they will not be given custodial sentence and that they will be allowed to serve. We are getting into politics now, now that we are getting into the full glare of the conversation. I'd like to put the story this way. Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo is here congratulating Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. And how did he congratulate Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia? Brushing through the news today in the office, I jumped onto this story. I quickly sent it to an NDC friend of mine. I said, your Ofosu-Ampofo is saying something. He said, what is he saying? And they said, don't go and do mischief on TV today. I said, but what is the mischief? I'm just going to report the story. Is that mischief? My NDC friends are always very edgy and nervous about what I'm going to say on TV about these things when I share it with them. He quickly said, hey, don't go and do those your things. Okay, let's see the story. It comes up and it says, oh, you don't have the story? I'm sure they do. It's about a digitalization process. And yeah, there's a story. This is Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo speaking on 26th August 2025. And he says, Ghana is the only African country with fully interoperable instant payment systems, a unique achievement that has fueled mobile money adoption, expanded e-commerce, and promoted financial inclusion. Truth, viewers, truth is only one. You can't hide it. You can propaganda it, but it will confront you when you are in government. Oh, digitalization, is that what we are going to eat? Who eats digitalization? We eat digitalization. We are hungry, say digitalization. Cho boy, who take them out? Vote against them. What is digitalization? When they came, they said digitalization. Oh, my pen is even falling. Today. Oh, for some powerful says what? Ghana, please put it up again. He says, Ghana is the only African country with fully interoperable instant payment systems, a unique achievement that has fueled mobile money adoption, expanded e-commerce, and promoted financial inclusion. Who achieved this? Who did? Ado Dankwa Akufo-Addo and Mahamudu Bawumia. The 38% people. 38%. This is what they achieved. Ghana's first mobile money interoperability systems deepens financial inclusion and promotes cashless system. 16th May 2018. That was by Mahamudu Bawumia. This is what Mahamudu Bawumia did. It says, an active member of the Alliance for Financial Inclusion Network, blah, 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 launched the country's first mobile money interoperability systems through the Ghana Interbank Payment Systems and Settlement Systems. The system was launched by the Vice President of Ghana, Dr. Alhaji Mahamudu Bawumia, on 10th May 2018 and is aimed at eliminating the complexities and inconveniences associated with transfers across the various mobile money networks in the country. These challenges include difficulty in opening bank accounts, high cost in maintaining a bank account relative to customs income levels, and financial literacy. Ghana's first mobile money interoperability deepens financial inclusion and promotes cashless society. 2018. 2025. Put Ofosu-Ampofo statement back. I like Ofosu-Ampofo. I don't know whether the statement was given to him to read or he put it out himself. But this is how it is, you see. The politics. This is the point I was making the other day with my friend Chumbuafo on Good Morning Ghana. Let us agree that some things are not part of politics. And let's deal with policy. Because if you deal with those things and take advantage of them, it will take advantage of you. Anything that you use to win an election, that is not right. That thing will also eat you up. Later tonight, if I have time, I'll show you Mohammed Yamin. Yamin of Ashanti Ridge, the things he's saying about Galamsey. This Ofosu-Ampofo here, senior person in the NDC, one of the most senior persons, a political advisor to the vice president, acknowledging within 8 months of the NPP losing election and gaining only 38%, that in fact, the policy of digitalization has taken Ghana very, very far. Acknowledging that in fact, the policy of digitalization has taken Ghana very, very far. I didn't say it. Ofosu-Ampofo says, Ghana is the only African country with fully interoperable instant payment systems, a unique achievement that has fueled mobile money adoption, expanded e-commerce, and promoted financial inclusion. Hallelujah be to the resurrected Lord. 25 minutes past 10. I'm running out of time. I'll leave it there. Let's get on to politics. Earlier today, maybe I'll take some text messages for what has happened already. Let me do some text messages because I was just asking Alhassan Bello that he's a magician. What is he doing at the text message counter? Okay. Who should I start with? Alhassan Bello. They say you first. What do you have?
Eric Mayeski says that Shatawale has one basic obligation to the authorities and investigators: documentation and audit trail that leads to the person from whom the car was bought. Does it make sense that asset valued over $2,000 is bought on the street? Really? And then Yao Febri says, Mr. Efie Ankra only made directive to prophet and pastors to bring prophecies about government officials and Ghana to get in touch of the person involved, all because of the sudden death of 8 gallant heroes and the prophecies comment coming out from the prophet. His latest update that he has received more than 200 prophecies and reviewing them is what made people in disarray and attack him. And then Alaji Yusuf Husseini says, will the office of Evris Ankra have budget, and how is he going to account for his expenditure? He shouldn't say he's been witch-hunted tomorrow when he's called to account and justify his spendings. Over to you, Angie.
Thank you very much. Coming from Manuel Darko, he says, Paul, I honestly doubt that the police have made any arrest at all, because their usual practice is to release pictures of suspects whenever they pick up people. In this case, however, they've said 8 people were arrested, yet no images have been shared. It raises serious questions. Are these arrests even real? From Julius Amako, he says, it's never true. None of these guys have been arrested. Teddy Iasari says, Efriye Ankra is totally wrong. Adepasika says, just a simple app to check if a vehicle is stolen or not, but then Iyoko prefers to be aggressive. Emmanuel Otu says, the best political show, Good Evening Ghana. Yao February says, members of the NPP are grateful to all potential presidential aspirants that were picked in returning their flag bearer forms. What everyone expects from them is an issue-based campaign and personal achievements within the party for unity to continue to prevail to capture in the 2028 general election. Lastly, from Nixon Nishan, he says, Apostle Puadumotri, I have the strongest of convictions that Chatawali's Lamborghini isn't a stolen vehicle, but rather an attempt to get Kwabna Edubuahin, formerly of Signals Bureau. Over to you, Paul.
Oh, you're done already? Yeah. Let's get on with politics. Kwabena Agyei-Agyapong was the first to present his papers to the New Patriotic Party in furtherance of his ambition to become the party's flag bearer on the January 31 event. Here in your video, the motorbikes. The Basentale motorbikes is becoming something, it used to be a big part of northern politics. When we went to Tamale in 2008, I saw a lot of that, but now it's coming all over. Kwabena is looking handsome. Oh, hey, Charlie Kalahari, that's his nickname. Kalahari is looking really cool. For a man who's over 60, I think he looks really, really cool. Yeah, very cool, handsome guy with his brother, I believe, and close friends of his, marching to the New Patriotic Party head office to present his forms to the MPP leadership. He has filled the forms. This will not be the first time he's filling it. It will not be the second time he's filling it, because if you remember, Kwabena was part of those who in 2008 formed the magic number 17, who challenged for the MPP's leadership at the time. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, one of the 17, eventually remained victorious with Alan Kojo Martin, former member of the MPP, coming second in that race. Kwabena Agyei-Agyapong on your screen now, going through. We're always relying on the blogger 1957. I think he's doing quite well. He's new on the market, but he's doing very well. He's doing a lot of political events, and we, those who cover politics, we like that because he gives us videos where we have not been able to go. So these motorbikes are coming from all over the place, and are they rented? Hey, I like this guy's face, man. Kwabena Agyei-Agyapong presented his forms to the New Patriotic Party. These days, he likes to remind us that he is engineer Kwabena Agyei-Agyapong, very, very solid civil engineer. Recently, he was the president of the Institution of Engineers in Ghana during the 2018-2019 period. That's the New Patriotic Party office indoors now. Kwabena is, he's going to speak. Yes, I think we'll take the sound from him now.
Rolling our sleeves, restoring the culture of hard work, meritocracy, and professionalism back to the workplace and in the society in general. I envision a Ghana that is economically robust, resilient, fiscally responsible, socially cohesive, and fully accountable to the citizens. Ghana must heal from the stridently divisive and chronic polarization that has become an ugly feature of our recent politics. After nearly 7 decades of our independence, we must reflect on how far we have fulfilled what we set out to achieve with our independence. The Fourth Republic, it must be stated, is useful to recall, was born out of adversity with the sweat, toil, and blood of many Ghanaians. Unfortunately, the much-touted democracy has not yielded the expected economic dividend. Our current dire economic situation has led us to a demoralized, despondent, and disillusioned population. A growing sense of apathy has gripped our youth and twisted their mindset of what it means to selflessly serve our motherland Ghana. Rolling our sleeves, restoring the culture of hard work, meritocracy, and professionalism back to the workplace and in the society in general. I envision a Ghana that is economically robust, resilient, fiscally responsible, socially cohesive, and fully accountable to the citizens. Ghana must heal from the stridently divisive and chronic polarization that has become an ugly feature of our recent politics. After nearly 7 decades of our independence, we must reflect on how far we have fulfilled what we set out to achieve with our independence. The Fourth Republic, it must be stated, it's useful to recall, was born out of adversity with the sweat, toil, and blood of many Ghanaians. Unfortunately, the much-touted democracy has not yielded the expected economic dividend. Our current dire economic situation has led us to a demoralized, despondent, and disillusioned population. A growing sense of apathy has gripped our youth and twisted their mindset of what it means to selflessly serve our motherland Ghana. Rolling our sleeves, restoring the culture of hard work, meritocracy, and professionalism back to the workplace and in the society in general. I envision a Ghana that is economically robust, resilient, fiscally responsible, socially cohesive, and fully accountable to the citizens. Ghana must heal from the stridently divisive and chronic polarization that has become an ugly feature of our recent politics. After nearly 7 decades of our independence, we must reflect on how far we have.
That was Kwabena Agyapong. I've been prompted to take a break for 5 minutes. When we come back, we're going to do the comparative politics. Is Kwabena Agyapong going to win? If he's not going to win, who's going to win? If we're going to compare NDC and MPP as we look at 2028, quite early, but you know, it's been bestowed on us at this stage because we have a president who is in the second term and final term. So naturally, these conversations are going to begin quite early. Johnson Asiedu Nketia is in the saddle of the NDC. Julius Deborah, the chief of staff, is also in there. Case Latu Forsen, we understand, is in there. Eric Opoku, the agric minister, has said something. The MPP cast will be determined on Thursday. Today is Kwabena Agyapong. Tomorrow is Kennedy Agyapong and Brian Achampong. Thursday is Mahamudu Bawumia and Osei Aweduchum, and the cast will be determined. So we're going to do some comparative analysis. Do they want me to continue? Okay, I'll continue with the politics, and then when we finish the politics, we can take a break. So at least we have one full cycle going forward. Okay, isn't it? Kwabena Agyapong. Okay, congratulations, Kalahari. First to file, is it best to lead? I don't know yet. All right, so let's look at the NDC, the MPP. Kennedy Akompreko files tomorrow at 2 o'clock, and you should expect a very massive mammoth crowd at the place. They call him the grassroots champion, and he's going to pull a lot of grassroots people there as he attempts for the second time to become the MPP's presidential flag bearer. The first time in 2023, he came second with 34.something%, I think 34.7%, coming second to Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. Brian Achampong is being on the news for making controversial statements about his campaign relating to other people's candidature and also relating to money, financial resources, and wherewithal to be able to deal with these things. Brian Achampong has come up for controversy. He is from Presec, Odade, where he was our dining hall prefect back in the day. Brian Achampong is filing tomorrow as well. Also, Osei Aweduchum, who is filing on Thursday. Osei Aweduchum completely changed the face of Ghana's education. I'm yet to talk to him about the BEC results and what that portends. I've heard that the Minister of Education is talking about cancelling the nurses and teacher training allowance. I want to ask him about it. and I want to ask him about the pre-SHS and the future thereof. Osei Aduchum is a very, very big brain, one of the brightest spots in Akufo-Addo's administration. He files his nomination tomorrow. Then, of course, former Vice President Alhaji Mahamudu Bawumia, who was on the ballot for the MPP in 2024, who won the last MPP internal contest by 60-something%. Dr. Bawumia will be filing on Thursday as well, and he's the last to file, and that will bring a close to the MPP nominations. So one of these men will win the MPP nominations. It could be Dr. Bawumia, it could be Osei Aduchum, it could be Brian Achampong, it could be Kennedy Akompreko Japan. All right, National Democratic Congress, the ruling party. Here they are. Julius Deborah, the Chief of Staff, who has been very, very active as a Chief of Staff. Johnson Asiedu Nketia, who until recently was the heir apparent. Everybody knew that Asiedu Nketia was going to grab this thing. Nothing was going to change it. Now he's getting some competition. We don't know whether the competition will be enough, but certainly Asiedu Nketia starts in the lead. We don't know whether he'll be overtaken or not. But yes, Asiedu Nketia has been with the party for long. Julius Deborah presents a real competition with the grassroots. And if you look at original balance, Julius Deborah would easily pick up the Eastern region votes because he's done great politics. The Eastern region is one of the big places. Johnson Asiedu Nketia will pick the votes from his hometown, the three Bono regions. The two of them are going to compete neck in Ashanti. They are going to slaughter each other in Ashanti because Ashanti is a big part. And Ashanti was important in the NDC's recent victory. So that's where the battle line is going to be drawn. Whichever of these two picks up the Ashanti region in addition to what they already have, I think they're going to sail through. K. Salato Forsen is going to be strong in the central region, but will he be able to do other regions? I don't know. How well will Johnson Asiedu Nketia do in the central region? I don't know whether K. Salato Forsen is going to go all the way and have himself on the ballot, but because I'm hearing that at some point he may decide to step aside for a running mate slot. You know that the central region has always been on the NDC ballot since 1992. I'm not sure whether that's going to change in 2028. Some people think that should not change. And if that is so, Ato Forsen perhaps having done what he's done at the Ministry of Finance until now, and being a stalwart of the central region, perhaps may want to step aside and consider himself for a running mate's position, given that he's Minister of Finance. Running mates, they say, will become economic forum boss. So, well, maybe. I don't know how that's going to work out. But this is the cast of the NDC. There's an Eric Opoko, who is the Minister for Agric. Nice, fine gentleman. I don't know the extent to which he's moving on his campaign. But so far, the campaign is almost settled. Asiedu Nketia has been making statements this week that will endear him to the middle ground. He says, for instance, that in Ghana, you need to have a connection to get a job. That endears him to the middle ground. He says, for instance, that people should qualify for their job. That endears him to the middle ground. He's also putting up a middle-class image. I showed you the last time, the way he's presenting himself in his attire and his apparel. He's looking like Chairman Mao, chairman of the Communist Party. And that's Johnson Asiedu Nketia. Julius Deborah is coming like fire. He's marauding into the race. As Chief of Staff, he controls a lot of power. This is not the first time he's been Chief of Staff. He's been Chief of Staff before. He knows how to interconnect with a lot of people. He's dealing with the urban youth, middle class, and he hopes to add together. Who is John Dramani Mahama going to back? That's going to be very, very important. I'm not sure who John Mahama is going to back, but that's going to be very, very important. So the race, the battle lines seem to be drawn. Now, let's look at the permutations. So if you have Mahamudu Bawumia and Julius Deborah, who's going to win? What are the strengths and weaknesses? What are the similarities? Similarities, differences. How's it going to work? Would they rely on their running mates? So if you have Napo behind Mahamudu Bawumia and you have Ibrahim Mahama behind Julius Deborah, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? I don't know. What's going to happen? Very, very interesting permutations. We have a whole lot of time to discuss these things, and issues are going to come up. How is Musa Danko? How is he doing tonight? Is he looking at some of these things? Okay. All right. Let's look at another set. You got Johnson Asiedu Nketia emerging from the NDC, and then you have Mahamudu Bawumia from the NPP. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Similarities, differences, contrast. What's going to happen? You have Napo behind him, and you have, say, Haruna Idrisu or Alban Bagbin behind Johnson Asiedu Nketia. How's that going to work? How's it going to work? I don't know. You tell me, viewers. You tell me. How's it going to work? You have Alban Bagbin behind him, or you have Zaneto Rawlings behind him. You have Zaneto Rawlings behind Asiedu Nketia as the running mate, and you have Napo here. How are you going to see it? How do you see it? How's it going to work? This is an interesting one. You have Kennedy Akompreko winning the MPP thing, and then you have Julius Debra winning the NDC one. How is it going to work? How is it going to work? And then you have an Abu Jnapo or a Mohamed Amin Anta behind Kennedy. Mohamed Amin Anta or Abu Jnapo behind Kennedy. And you have Ibrahim Mahama behind Julius Debra. How is it going to work? 2028 is a long shot away. Very, very long. In politics, a day is like a year. Very long. Let's look at the permutations. John Mahama is not there. Akufo-Addo is not there. They are gone. No Akufo-Addo, no John Mahama. John Adjokun Kufuor left a long time ago, but they will all be here observing. Kufuor will be observing. Kufuor will be advising. They will be observing. How is it going to work? Think about it, viewers. That's a permutation, isn't it? Very interesting. Very, very interesting. You roll over and you have Kennedy Akompreko and Johnson Asiedu Nketia. Lila baba, li baba, baba, baba. That one is going to be a putu, 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 putu. The campaign is going to be feisty. The campaign songs are going to be interesting. So one is going to pick up Ashanti. Ashanti is going to be very important. Bono is going to be very important. Central region is going to be important. Western North, very important. What's going to happen? 2028. Putu, 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 putu. We'll be here. We'll be here. That's our work. We'll be covering it. We'll be covering it for you. Great times coming ahead. Brian Achampong, in case he wins. Then you have Julius Debra, Eastern region versus Eastern region. Similarities. Eastern region versus Eastern region. The battle is going to be in the Eastern region. Achim Abuakwa, Achim Tafo, Achim Kotoku, Achim Suedro, Akwetia, Enkwetia, Empraiso, Abetifi. Obo, I can't forget Obo. Nkoko, the British call it Nkau, but it's Nkoko. You're going to have some fierce fights in the Eastern region. Brian says he's building a runway for the Eastern region airport. That's better than all the runways in the world. So we're going to be flying Togbe Afedes Africa World from Accra to Kwahu on Easter, and then we can go to Brian's hotel and all of that. Julius Debra is doing the Kwahu Summit. You saw that. He's going to repeat it every year. Kwahu Summit. So both are competing for the Kwahu hero. The one whose statue will be put on the Nkoko Mountain. It's going to be a great fight. Let's wait and see how it goes. Brian Achampong versus Johnson Asiedu Nketia. Or somebody sends me a text. Brian Achampong versus Johnson Asiedu Nketia is cool chop. Cool chop for who? Cool chop for who? For who? Let's see how it goes. So all of these are the matters that are agitating people's mind this week as the MPP completes its situation with the presidential aspirants and presidential candidates. Thereafter, there will be vetting. And sometime this week, I'll pay a visit to Nana Akufo-Addo. You know, he set up his office in Accra. I've not been there yet. I'll go and visit with him. And I'm sure that when I go, these conversations will come up. And he'll ask me what is happening and who is leading our race. Who is leading? He's going to ask me, hey, Mr. Man, who is leading the race in the MPP? And I'm going to have a beautiful chat with him. I miss him so much. I'm going to look for him this week. I think on Thursday or Friday, I'll go and see him in his new office in Accra, starting to do his work as former president of the Republic of Ghana. Okay, and we will talk about this. Some of the conversations, I'll report back to you viewers. Of course, you know I always come and do the concern with you once I speak to some of these important elderly men. They have a lot of a fountain of wisdom that you can always borrow from. And I sit with Akufo-Addo, sometimes it goes to 2, 3, 4 hours. And I'm still picking information from him. All you need to ask Akufo-Addo to get him talking is that, Nanado, in 1979, who was the candidate for, he loves those things. Akufo-Addo is thoroughly political. You say, it was Odoye Sykes. No, I think, and out of that, he will tell you a whole 45 pages of a great Ghanaian political historical story. I'm going to enjoy that this week, and I'll share with you some of the details. But this is where we are. This is how it's looking like what is going to happen in Ghana's contest for presidency in 2028. Stay with that, viewers. Send us a text. Let me take a break. When I come back, legal Chief Justice Tokonu has come to the end of the road of the Article 146 inquiry. She has presented her witnesses. At the end of August, it looks like the inquiry has ended. Justice Gabriel Poimane, Domelevo, and the committee now have the ultimate decision to make for today, for posterity, and for the stability of the judiciary. What decision are they going to take? When we come back from the break, the lawyer will join me on the touch screen. We'll look at some of the details and suggest to you where we think the decision is going without being contemptuous of the Article 146 in-camera proceedings. This is Good Evening Ghana and it's live. We'll be right back after the break.
Brought you the first two conferences, which were awesome. Great leadership ideas shared. On popular request, the third in the series of Women in Strategic Leadership Conference, put together by ASWAM and Tarragon, comes off on September 24 to 27 at the Plash Camp Chache Resort. Adan, come, engage with astute women with great leadership ideas and skills on the conference theme, Women at the Helm, Driving Strategic Change. On the bill for this special conference are outstanding women such as Genevieve Pearl Duncan Obobi, banker, trainer, SME consultant, speaker and author. Miss AC Mills Robertson, Director of Inclusive Banking at Fidelity Bank Ghana, and Mrs. Augustina, creating a supportive community as well as empower women in leadership.
Wabedum time aso. Hey, J. Watch it, na learning. Missy, watch and learn. Makwaya mabesisia. Abozege. Akachese no ya konate and the more drink woman. Hey. But I didn't mean. Oh, sorry. She knew her old dish. Eji. Dabio, baby wom. Ready. Hey, baby wom. Ah, Aji! I'll cause some discomfort. Ah! Sorry, uncle, where would the dad? Why your funeral? At your phone for Aerofield Trading. Sorry, it killed them all.
No mum share Nanda Daya was a mosquito call Esudu Womunumu. Na say spray with them musa. Chaisima edronum and sana kodynamo.
And Kratoi FDA Ajatum.
I'm here at Mycom JA Limited to show you the Promethean Active Panel, the ultimate tool for corporate institutions, hospitals, schools, and your home. With its crystal clear 4K display and an unbreakable screen with an ultra responsive touch technology, this isn't just a screen, it's a game changer. For corporate institutions and in schools, this active panel can be used for Zoom meetings and PowerPoint presentation. And oh, your homes are not left behind. You can use it to watch all your favorite programs by just connecting to a Fire Stick, and you can get access to channels like Netflix and Amazon, and voila, you are in there. At Mycom JA Limited, we provide you with the best quality products from the United States of America with 1-year warranty. You can get an active panel at a discounted price of 18,000 Ghana cedi only, and it comes with a Fire Stick, a webcam, and a micro system. You can locate us at Chado Container behind the Trade Fair. Visit Mycom JA Limited today and elevate your tech.
MGL Logistics and Supply is your trusted partner, providing seamless solutions for all your procurement needs. From sourcing products to managing imports and exports, we ensure smooth and efficient transactions every step of the way. Whether you require goods from across the globe or need assistance in exporting your products to international markets, we got you covered. General Trading is at the heart of our expertise. We specialize in a wide range of products, catering to various industries and markets. As a trusted dealership in building materials, we provide high-quality products that meet the demands of our construction projects. Additionally, we act as manufacturers' representatives, connecting producers with distributors. Our expertise in logistics is the backbone of our operations. We plan and execute transportation and delivery of goods, ensuring they reach their destination on time and in optimal condition. MGO Logistics and Supply, guaranteed satisfaction.
In my line of work, a confident smile is everything. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste keeps me on top of my game and ensures my smile is always radiant and bright.
With the tiring nature of my job, we spend several hours under the scorching sun. To keep our teeth white and our breath fresh all the time, we use none other than Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. You're on a Kessie and in a kit one.
Samayo Kendini, who be here, Semetra Sapapadia to Amame Manfo, Kel Charcoal's natural ingredients, and a bomb is several buying, a man is swing, Nesansu Mama Hotoso, a will beg you.
Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Choose Kel Charcoal Toothpaste for anti-cavity, whiter teeth, and fresher breath all day. Available in 80 gram and 150 gram. Grab yours today.
Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Welcome back. I chanced on a video. Viewers, forgive me. I'm amused. I chanced on a video with Reverend Tim Fojo preaching, and he was telling. Oh, I wish I could share with you. And he was telling. Please, anyone who sees that video, he's wearing a blue apparel, nice one. If you see that video, please post it on our. Put it in your comment section in the Good Evening Ghana official. I want people to see it. He was telling the people listening to him that if you go to the bank and they tell you that you have 50,000 cedis, you don't see the 50,000 cedis. That's quite a lot of money. I like that. Let me use 5,000, to which most of us can relate. 5,000, 10,000. If you have 5,000 cedis, you can't see it, yeah. But you believe that it's there. So in Team Fojo asked the audience, why don't you believe that the Lord your God has blessed you to be a billionaire, and anytime you want the money, you can access it, or even the devil cannot stop you? I like that message of faith. It's amazing. Never heard him preach before. Reverend Tim Fojo, the member of Parliament for Asin South. He was on the show not too long ago. I love him to bits. The guy is a great preacher. Sorry, viewers. Sorry about that amusement. Anziba has some text messages for us before we get on the screen on the law platform.
Thank you very much, Paul. Coming from Mohammed Yusifa, it's very sad that the aspirants who know deep down in their hearts that they will lose the contest are now engaged in needless, heartless, selfish, personal attacks just to completely tear apart the party. Amisco says, among all the NPP presidential candidates, Dr. Bawumia's vision is truly remarkable and inspiring, positioning him to lead the NPP to victory in 2028. Hashtag, it is still possible. Best regards to Honorable Mavis Hawakumsin, the incoming NPP National Women's Organizer. From Taminu, he says, Inshallah, we are finishing up what we started. Dr. Bawumia fought and remains to fight again, and this time around, we are conquering. Team Bawumia all the way. From Dorothy Sampson, she says, I think Dr. Bawumia is the best candidate. Jeff Manosai says, my permutation should be Honorable Dr. Osei Yao Edutrum, that is from the NPP, versus Julius Deborah, also from the NPP, and we would have a very level-headed campaign. Coming from Julius Amalko, he says, Ken all the way. Ni Oko says, Paul, I think Haruna Idrisu would have been a good bet for Julius Deborah. Eric Sowa says Ken. Eric Sowa says Ken will win any one of the candidates. Michael Ofair says Dr. Baumia, the guru in modern economics and leadership. Lastly, coming from Jacobi, he says Shatawale Charles Ni Ama Mentor became smart in the eyes of Yoko when he used the app to expose their naivety. Later, they had to show him a bit of power, and that's what happened, and this explains why he was detained. Over to you, Bello.
Jacobi says, Paul, you have never talked vividly about Haruna Idrisu when talking about NDC contest, but can I assure you he is a strong contender in the race to be the flag bearership. You have been putting him in the running mate section, but he is the main powerhouse. Kindly dig and see. Hashtag Brian Day Tomorrow. Kojo Prince Nana Garment said, it's definitely Baumia. And then Abdulwadus Jr. says, the current chief of staff has never won any election. Master planner from Kintampo says, all candidates seeking to lead MPP in the 2028 general elections are competent and capable of taking that role. Dr. Baumia amongst them is the most marketed and the most familiar face that can win power for MPP in 2028. Majority of the MPP delegates know this and will surely vote for him to lead the party to victory. It is still possible with DMB. Ibn Bayan, I wish Kobna Japan becomes a running mate to DMB. I admire his intelligence and wish to see him as a key participant in Baumia's administration. Charles Osai says, Kene Japan is not a grassroots man. How many grassroots have he helped when he got the GUC contracts from the MPP governments under Kufuor and Akufo-Addo respectively? Again, Master Planner from Kintampo says, on a lighter note, Apostle Paul, I enjoy your commentary on issues of flying guy. Maybe you should start wrestling commentary soon. And then lastly, Bennett Dansu says, Paul, kindly admonish the media houses who keep addressing Dr. Arthur Kennedy as a leading member or founding member of the MPP to desist from describing him as such. He can't be sitting in the USA and be destroying our party with his negative comments and continuous sabotage and calls himself a stalwart of our party.
You are done?
Yeah, what do you, Paul?
Okay. I got some very disturbing news, and that's the final one. My producer thinks that we should shelve the law discussion for Thursday if there's time, because already 11 o'clock and we don't want to keep our viewers waiting. Because our viewers really help us by staying up to watch the show. And we thank you. We're grateful to all of you for doing so. NDC, MPP, CPP, PCP, young people who have not yet joined the political party. Join one political party very, very soon. The other day I read something with Hope Senadoe saying that if you're a young person and you love your future, don't join NPP. I saw that and I had a good laugh. Join something, yes. Join any political party that fits your philosophy. If you're 25, please hurry up. Join one. Political parties, let our people start paying dues. 5 cedis a month for young entrants. For people like me, 40 cedis a month. I think that works. And hopefully the parties can raise money and be able to compete. And the party should also build up civil society organizations. Brookings is for the Democratic Party. Imani is the center-right. MPP should talk to Imani and build it up. And then NDC should have IDEC or something, the left-wing ones. Let's build a real democracy of competition of ideas. It's very, very, very important. The competition is necessary, but it has to be competition of ideas. Even if it's a violent competition, it has to be competition of ideas. That's what I want to say at the close. So I got disturbing news. 100 young men and women have been sacked from Ghana Water Company. 100, not 50, not 20, not 17. 100, they've been sacked. They've been told that they have been suspended. I'm continuously looking at their documents, and hopefully I'll bring them on television to explain their saga. I'm also hoping that the Ghana Water Company will look at it, take another look at it, and see what can happen, because these are Ghanaians. They were recruited in November 2024. The assumption is that they were recruited by MPP, and all of them are MPP voters. It's entirely possible that some of the 100 went to the polls and voted for NDC based on the performance of their MP. If the MP is NDC and he was good, they voted for him. His MPP and he was bad, they voted against him. All of those things happened. Why are we targeting young people? You can target other people who are strong. You can target rich people. They are very strong. But young people, vulnerable, they just have a brain to serve. And we say, all of you employed by MPP, go home. Okay, we're looking at their documents. We've asked them to send us all the documents they can send us. The genuineness of the employment, the contracts that they had, their qualification, etc., etc. And then we will have a look at it. On that note, at 11:02 viewers, it's been a long Tuesday. We are at the MPP office covering the event. Tomorrow we'll be there again, and everybody's reminding me that we are starting tomorrow quite early because we have to go and cover the Kennedy Akompre. Covering Kennedy Akompre first and Brian Achampong second is not simple. So people are asking me that we need to close and go to sleep and come back tomorrow. It's going to be a very difficult day. We are happy we don't have Good Evening Ghana tomorrow night because we would have broken into pieces. Thursday, we have another edition of Good Evening Ghana. Thanks for watching tonight. See you again on Thursday. Keep your eye on our Facebook page, Good Evening Ghana Official, for more. Thanks for watching. Good night.
Welcome to Cook Africa, straight to the Ashanti region. Hey, well, check my mouth, boy. You go back there tonight. Even a few days ago, you were trending. You and this character went up.
Ginger, the ball knuckle. Or the ama spices, the ama salt. We bet my chance. Or the mama money. Money they call. Debbie, welcome, go cake.
So my grandma took care of me. So she actually taught me how to do it.
Anywhere you there, I go there.
The Gbese Manche Homo War Festival and Business Summit has been organized to promote tourism, cultural diplomacy, and international business relations between Ghana and the diaspora. The three-day event is scheduled from 26th to 28th of September 2025. Activities include Business Summit, where potential businesses and investors meet on the 26th and 27th of September. Also on 27th September is the sprinkling of Pokwe. 28th September is the Omowo Festival in the park with lots of food, live music and dance. These events will happen live at the historic Utrecht University Botanical Gardens, Utrecht in the Netherlands. There will also be sightseeing and a night of entertainment in Germany. The Gbese Manche Homo Festival and Business Summit in the Netherlands and Germany will be a fun and bricks business. Registration is open to all businesses and corporate institutions. For inquiries, call 0244 268 074 or 0246 845 516. Registration closes on 25th of August 2025. Hurry and place your calls. Limited spaces are available on a priority basis.
Metro TV, insightful and inspiring moments.